Well, I'm excited about today's topic and kind of the, if you will, series of things that we're going to be talking about. Figured we'd start first by kind of identifying the journey we've been on. Hopefully, that's something that many can relate to. So, talking about who we were, because we're not today who we are today isn't who we were. We had opened our own independent brokerage. And now that was after being offered to buy into a Keller Williams brokerage franchise. We did our due diligence on that. Lots that I liked about it. Got nothing bad to say about it. It just wasn't. It didn't resonate with me. I didn't think the business opportunity for us would have been great. I didn't think the business opportunity for the realtors was as substantial as I wanted to provide. So we opened our own independent brokerage. Literally got with realtors. I don't remember how many, 11, 12, whatever. And they came in on a regular basis and helped us work through the business plan, financial plan, et cetera. What we wanted was a brokerage built with and for agents. And so they contributed to us building that. And then, of course, those things always evolve, but you came along, were a realtor for a while. I always love the story that you tell about the conversation you and I had about, I think you say the cash flow quadrant, right?
Cash flow quadrant. Yep.
So that's something you hadn't been introduced to before?
First time I heard it.
Okay. Well, and we've probably talked about that on previous videos. I'm sure we'll get back to it before too long. In fact, we need to have like a grow conversation a session. So we'll get back to that another time. But ultimately, John became our partner and managing broker. How old were you when you did that?
27, I think. So
27 when you got your managing broker's license?
27 or 28.
Okay. So without a doubt, the youngest of the three managing brokers that we had ultimately had, two prior and then John, and bar none, since then, the longest tenure, and without a doubt, the best of the three. From so many different perspectives. So that's how we came together, or came together in the brokerage space anyway. We grew that to north of 30 agents. We had very ambitious goals, national branding, national distribution. I hope to define it. You want to define distribution?
I mean, distribution, kind of like Coke machines. I think it's probably the easiest thing, right? You want as many Coke machines out there as you can have. People can just walk up and push a button and get a Coke machine or a Coke from a machine, and you get a little bit of everything that happens. I think is the way to do it. Zig Ziglar said 1% of 100 people versus 100% of what he could do alone.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was Zig, but yeah, and Warren Buffett, looking at Coca-Cola, loves the business model for that because of their distribution. Because you can add a penny in cost to a Coca-Cola, nobody's going to really notice, but because of the massive amounts of Coke that they sell, that'll have a big impact on the business. So, yeah, a Coke machine is a distribution center. And for us, our collaborative partners, the agents that we have on the team, are distribution centers of the real estate and financial services. So we had big goals, but we ran into some challenges.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably some of the major ones like infrastructure costs, ability to scale on our own. I mean, it's one thing to plug into a system or a structure and then leverage it to grow with, but to have to build and maintain and grow and maintain and support everything, like doing everything all the time. It's more of an uphill battle to grow something that way, versus, like I said, being able to plug into something that's already existing and being able to grow on top of it. Lead cost, I mean, the cost of lead just continued to go up.
Well, and on infrastructure, we had to, and you'll get into that. Well, no, you won't either. Unfortunately, we didn't have any proprietary resources like that. We had to use plug and play, where other people developed the stuff and we had to absorb their costs for those things. And that wasn't, they didn't reduce their costs on a monthly or annual basis. So all of that just kept getting more and more expensive. Like you say, same with leads.
Yeah. And then ultimately, I think really the like upward pressure on splits, big box companies coming in, really being able to offer more for less because of the infrastructure they had, right, and the support or the systems they already had in place. Um, I like to call them shiny nickels, right? They can offer more shiny nickels, which unfortunately is a big attracting piece. I don't think people do a good enough job of actually looking at the business opportunity, but like, oh, they have fancy packets that I can, take on a listing appointment, or a cool logo or something like that, that doesn't really make you that much better of a realtor. Or in our case, I think we talk a lot from like being a business owner or entrepreneur, and not just a realtor, right? Looking to buy or sell houses, but how do you build something that's scalable and saleable? We just say, there's just not a lot of that out there in the industry, and having to compete with big box companies with limited resources, and led to like that revolving door, which if you're an independent, that feeling of hiring people, and then you hire two or three and three or four leave, right? And kind of constantly
Yeah,
have
we used to put it this way: we were training our competition.
training our competition. Yep. So we used to, and that's the crazy part. It's like the people. It seemed like the people you put the most in, and the people who had the most potential, were the ones that would often leave, right, and either go to become a competitor, right, open up their own firm because they wanted
Or
to,
team.
or team because they wanted something that we just, like I said, just didn't have the infrastructure to support that type of growth with, or they got like a deal, right? Maybe like a signing bonus, or I remember one guy left for he went to, I think it was Redfin, and they paid him like $1,200 a month, which was more
To be an
secure,
employee too, by the way.
right? To be a play, that's more secure than the business, right? The mindset we always had is like, how do we help our agents build and grow a business? Again, something that's scalable and saleable, and even something that they can pass down to
Well, right,
future
something
generations.
that becomes a part of an asset, a part of their legacy.
Yeah. So I mean, along with that kind of competition there, and then really just kind of shrinking margins, all
Well,
that's
all of that led to shrinking margins.
yeah, all that stuff
That all contributed.
um, led us to make a different decision.
Right. And so we, because of some of the circles we're in and some of the partnerships and relationships we have, we get exposed to a lot of other business models. Um, in this case, it was financial services, and we even horizontally diversified, and our partner on that side has a business where he's opened 150 offices. He has no obligation to any of them. They're all independently owned and operated, but he gets a share of the revenue because he helped them set up and build and grow the businesses. And so we started looking for an environment like that within the real estate space, and we found it. And so in 2021, we merged into a national distribution partner where they already had all of these things that we've been talking about in place. And for us, it reduced it, almost eliminated. Well, it did, except for one thing we're still paying for. It eliminated all of our expenses, all of our risk, all of our liability. Now, John took on the liability in the state of Illinois because he became the managing broker for the state of Illinois, but he's still under their umbrella. So the liability is different than it was with us as an independent. And overnight, we then had the ability to leverage all of those resources, infrastructure, technology, training to begin building again overnight our national brand and distribution, and grow our roster. Because in the end, I mean, you can with all of that infrastructure. And when John says shiny nickel, I think so much of those shiny nickels don't end up contributing to the business. They just look good. right? Um, and in the end, for a team leader and or independent broker owner, hands down, the most important thing you can do to exponentially grow your business, to take your business to the next level, is to not improve a $3 million producer into a $4 million producer, because you really can't. You can provide all the bells and whistles, but if they don't do the work, they don't grow. But what do you control as a team leader and independent brokerage owner? You control the size of your roster. And in fact, in a down economy, our sales continue to grow because we continue to add to and grow our roster. In fact, when we made the move, approximately 22 of those 30 plus agents came with us. And today we're close to 100 agents. And you just told me, I mean, I didn't even know we just grew into another state. So now we're in 7 states.
Yeah, Ohio. It's the most recent one.
And honestly, we had the vision, but we had no idea how to achieve it and how long it would take to get there to have grown our previous independent brand to that size and in that many geographic locations. Consequently, because growing our roster, we've grown our sales by over 200%. And that's allowed us, well, really, that's all a result of leveraging the economies of scale that came with our new distribution partner, the world-class technology, world-class training, world-class support. It's just really changed everything. I did mention we've also horizontally diversified into the money business, which again is insurance, investments, mortgages. Our real estate clients need all these things as bad as any other. I mean, every American family is struggling, living paycheck to paycheck, can't put their hands on an extra $1,000, need all these things. And our real estate clients were no exception. And so now we're bringing more value to those relationships. Again, helped us increase revenue, added multiple streams. We're better serving our real estate clients. And, I know 88% of them tell you they're going to renew or use you again, repeat as a customer. Only 12% do. And that's in a window that's now from 7 to 12 years. So that's not a very good business model and not a very good track record. So we're better serving our real estate clients. We got better customer loyalty and get more client referrals and even more collaborative partner referrals consequently.
I want to touch on the training part, because there's one thing I've experienced here that I've never experienced anywhere else, and it's the openness and willingness to share resources and ideas. And so when I started, I worked at Century 21. This is the first office I came into. I was under a top producer. And at there, they had the old school office where, everyone had their desk or their offices. And when I remember the first day I walked through there, my first mentor, she was like, yeah, you don't talk to that person. Don't ask them what they're doing. They're not going to share anything with you. Don't knock on their door, whatever it was, because everyone had their secrets, right? And I just thought that's the way it was. Like, hey, man, it's like if I find something that works, I got to keep it, because that's what's going to keep my business going. And if I share it with people, then they're going to steal my clients, right? Or they'll steal my ideas. And that's such a scarcity mindset that keeps people stuck, most people stuck in like where they're at, and keeps them from growing and going like 10x, right? It's a 2x mindset versus a 10x mindset. We could probably do a whole
We will
on that, yeah, just on 10x versus 2x. It's actually easier than you think. But what I found in coming here is everyone's just open and willing to share. So we have like some of the top producing agents, teams,
leaders,
creators, right? People that are just sharing their ideas. And what I found is another book called Who Not How, that will actually, who's allow you to 10x growth much faster than any how ever will, because how is linear thinking. Who's allowed,
how really won't let you 10x.
you can't, because then you just keep adding more work, and who wants to do more work? So but what I found was when I got into a room of people that like to share their ideas, yes, I would share my secrets and tips that were helping me, but I would still pick up 3 or 4 or 5 other things from other people. So even though it's like, it can feel like you're quote unquote like giving up your secrets, because of the environment, the collaborative environment that we're in, and everyone's just so open and willing to share, you might share something with someone that helps them, but in that same room, you've got 5 or 6 other people that you might pick something else up that would help you in your business too. So that's a huge mindset shift for me in coming to an environment like this versus the environment that I think most people are like conditioned in real estate to like, keep, hoard your secrets and the things that make you successful versus having an abundant mindset and sharing ideas, getting into an environment where other people are giving just as much as you are.
So let me paraphrase that or restate it. You're saying this collaborative culture is better than any competitive culture that you've been a part of.
Absolutely.
Okay. And so all of that a lot of who we are, we were from a mindset perspective. John and I have been on our personal journeys for a lot of years. We're constantly reading similar, if not the same books, and having conversations around them. And how do we use that and share that? And so a lot of the just personal traits and skills that we've developed, we've been working on for a long time. But as far as a business environment and culture, we took the red pill and found solutions to these problems. We're going to talk a little bit more about one in particular that we went into it a little bit too much already, but we'll review it at a minimum. But real simply, our mission for all that we're doing is to economically empower more people. And from a business professional perspective, there's not a lot we can do. And this is the red pill stuff. It's up to you, like it's up to me, and like it's up to John. The culture, the collaboration, all of the tools, all of the resources, you still have to use them. But we're lucky. We've pulled together a scenario where everything's here. And so if you come here and are coachable and you plug in and you do the work, you're going to take your business to higher levels. And that's our purpose, is to economically empower more people that are specifically coachable and willing to do the work. So with that being said, we talked about the growth of our business. We are looking actively in all of North America, literally, for collaborative partners. And we're just going to put that out there. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it. We're not here to convince any of you of anything. If anything that we've said or that we say resonates with you, to me, it warrants a deeper conversation. But we're not here to convince you of anything. You'll know if what's going on here is a place that you want to participate in. So that being said, first and foremost, the thing that frustrated us, and we had lots of fun conversations about it, was the revolving door. Because again, the resources, the tools, the technology, that's inanimate stuff. The people are what matter to us ultimately. And to put so much time into somebody and to have them then decide to go to what we began calling the grass is greener realty. And folks, the grass isn't greener. The only grass you ought to be paying attention to is the grass you're standing on, and are you watering it, meaning taking care of yourself. But be that as it may, it was a shiny nickel, whatever. But that's the thing you took the hardest, because they weren't inanimate objects. They were people. And they were people that at one time or another had said, I'm behind you. I'm your partner. I'm with you. I want to change my life. I want to change generations of my life. I want to do something big and special for my family. And then they go to the grass is greener realty. And unfortunately, many of them today aren't even still in the business. But it was, again, beyond the personal impact, I think the biggest variable and the most challenging aspect of trying to scale keep our roster growing and productive. Your thoughts?
There is a level of disappointment, I guess, is the word that comes to mind when you invest a lot into people and they either don't do what they say they're going to do, or they end up changing directions on you. And not to be like limiting in any way. I want to see people succeed, right, and reach their true potential. Um, it is tough though to invest in people and then watch them go like that. So
Well, and we all also had very in-depth and specific conversations with everybody, and still do. So we knew their goals. We knew what their financial independence number was. We knew what uh, the residual profit they needed to realize the equivalent wealth of having millions in the bank, because everybody's financial independence numbers millions of dollars. And we knew, still know to this day, you can't go accomplish that anywhere else, particularly as an actively producing realtor. So they were giving up on themselves, chasing a shiny nickel or grass that they thought was greener. And again, it impacted the bottom line if they were a producer, blah, blah, blah. I knew, I mean, look, we understand and are committed to growing our roster. That's our constant focus. I knew we could overcome whatever revenue, if they were productive, they took with them. It wasn't as much that as, again, the interpersonal part of it all. And again, they took whatever we gave them with them, intellectual property wise. So we're constantly training our competition. And I would venture, back then, and especially today, we're teaching things that I don't think the rest of the industry is teaching. So they're better professionals. They're better business people when they leave us. And again, becoming our competitors.
yeah, well, hopefully they use that for good, and like I said, they can go win where they go next, or pass it along to more people there. But the it was challenging. I remember, like I said, I think I said a little bit earlier, you bring on 3 or 4 people and 2 or 3 leave. So in trying to get over that tipping point, another fantastic book, to really reach like the growth that we wanted, kind of just felt like a never-ending battle of trying to bring people on, people leaving, replacing those people. And each time we brought someone on, because and we weren't 100% geared towards they have to be in the industry. I remember one of the things we prided ourselves on was bringing new people in so that we could train them with the mindset that we had about building wealth, about building a business versus just being an actively producing realtor forever, or even like an actively producing team leader, because that's not passive either, right? If you don't build it correctly. We actually preferred brand new people so that we didn't have to unteach them whatever crap they learned wherever they were at before, and then reteach them. So like when we brought new people on, the majority of them were people we had to train from scratch. So we trained them from scratch. We were huge on field training. So we spent a lot of time, energy, effort, right? We'd be out in the field with people, going on listing appointments or walking rehabs with them, actually showing them how to be successful at this business, which I think just adds another layer of um, a little bit of a deeper sting, if you will, right? When they left, and then thinking, knowing that, okay, well, the next group of people around the people that we bring on, it's almost like we're starting from zero, right? Every single time to then reinvest that time and energy and effort into those people again.
Yeah. So in the end, as it related to the revolving door, we've already shared how ambitious we were and are. I'm not going to tell you 100% of the collaborative partners that we extend an offer to work with us today stick around. But, and I don't think either, we haven't talked about this specifically, but I was thinking about it in preparation for this. Our revolving door is significant. I don't know how to put it, but it's been turnover's been significantly reduced.
Oh, I would say so.
Significantly. And so it's allowed us to get ahead of ourselves and grow that roster and be in 7 states. And I'm just eternally grateful. And again, if any of this resonates with you, ultimately ask yourself this. If you're a team leader, you're an independent, you're worn out. I mean, we were, at the biggest, had around 30, 32 agents, and we were worn out. And it was John and I. I mean, John was a managing broker, but he wasn't shouldering the burden alone. The two of us were worn out. And so if all of that effort for you isn't translating into, and again, if you're, we'll talk more about this another time, but it's linear thinking, 2x thinking. It's like, I want to increase my sales by 5 or 10%. If that's what you want to do and you're doing it, more power to you. That wasn't satisfactory for us. We wanted national distribution under our brand. That's 10x thinking. And to get there, we had to do something completely different. I'm not going to get into the details of that mindset of the mechanics, because again, I think that's a whole conversation we'll have. But if you want to go to another level, you want to 10x your business, you want exponential growth, you want a much larger distribution. And in the end, we're not there yet, but we're probably 18 to 24 months away. In the end, if you want to be paid profit residually from your business for doing almost nothing, if any of that resonates with you, we'd love to have a conversation.
Show you how to do it.
Anything in closing?
I know a lot of people are afraid to ask for help. A lot of people are afraid to ask questions. They don't want to look stupid. They don't want to look weak, whatever it is. If, like Mark said, if anything resonates with you, we're just people. We'll just have a conversation and we'll just see if anything lines up with our goals and your goals and how we can help.
Well, and I'm going to expand on that because I know you mean it this way too. Even if collaborating as a partner it isn't the way forward, we're still a peer, and we've given you, the details of our journey. If any of that, if the things that we've been through could help you, we're glad for that. Again, our collaboration doesn't stop at our borders. Our collaboration is for any and all that want to participate at whatever level or in whatever way or relationship they want to collaborate. We want to help you, even if you don't collaborate as a partner.
Well, I'll share this story here, and this I think that will drive that home. I gave 2 referrals to an outside agent, outside of our team, outside of our brokerage, because that was the right thing to do for the clients and for what they're trying to do and what that person brings to the table. He called me like a week later, surprised that I gave him referrals because I'm not at his firm. He's not on our team. He's like, dude, he's like, why are you giving me referrals? It's because it's the right thing to do, dude. And that's just who we've always been. And that's always been our bottom line. Do what's right, help people. And the more people you help, the more people you serve, the better off you're going to be anyway. So,
well, and the more the universe will give back to you.
Give back to you. It comes back tenfold. I give 2 referrals, and who knows? Maybe I'll get 10 from him one day, or maybe I'll get 1 that turns into 5 or whatever. But that's not the point. The point is, again, just doing what's right and helping people. So, for our heart's set, that's what we want to do.
All right, cool. Any question? No such thing as a dumb question, and consequently, no such thing as a stupid conversation that arrives out of a question that isn't a stupid question. So, if you've hung with us this long, we really appreciate you plugging in and your support. The typical crap on YouTube, subscribe or whatever. We're going to keep bringing it. Talk to you soon.